Andrew Schulz, he's announced a 4-part new specials coming to Netflix this December. He's taking on pandemic, predators, protests, presidents, host of the Flagrant 2 podcast, host of Brilliant Idiots, Andrew Schulz himself. Joining me now to talk about this special, Schulz Saves America. Andrew, great to see you, my friend. Thanks for joining us.
Great to see you, brother. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, especially now that I know that you're coming to the small screen in my living room on Netflix. I've been watching you, and I think millions of others have, on Instagram now for months. Just tell us a little bit about what you're doing here. You're bringing in all your favorites, Jeffrey Epstein. You're talking about lockdowns, riots, everything. Give us a little bit of a preview.
Yeah, so we were doing these monologues on social media, on Instagram, YouTube, and they really blew up. Like, we were just creating these like viral videos every single week, and it was pretty insane. And yeah, Netflix asked us if we wanted to potentially do something with them at the end of the year. And I had said a few years ago that Netflix was going out of business. And, so we have like a very kind of like schoolyard, like boy and girl flirting relationship, where we're just kind of like bullying each other maybe, and then eventually it just kind of works out. So I was like, maybe we could do something that's possible. And I started thinking about like what it could be, and I figured, let's just go for it. Let's just make something happen. I think there's a lot of people that still exist on Netflix. Like, maybe you and I and some of the people that are watching the show, like most of the content we consume is on like Instagram or YouTube.
Right.
But there's still a lot of people that like validate content through, a name brand streaming platform. And, Netflix is obviously the biggest one. And I still want to touch those people. I think we got content that those people really like and will enjoy. And I was like, we got to do this. And
so here's my question, Andrew. Are normies ready for the fire that Andrew Schulz brings? Because you are not, you pull no punches. You go after the Dems, you go after the Republicans, you go after everybody. On your Instagram, part of the reason I love it so much of your content, which is that you're willing to go places that nobody else is willing to go. I want to give props to Netflix for actually supporting that work, because it's not really something that I see all the time. But how do you think the reception is going to be, man?
Well, this is any indication. I think 2 days ago, like the head EP, the executive producer, after watching it, took his name off the project.
There we go. Okay.
He called me. He just called me, and he was like, "Hey, man, I love you. I think you're brilliant. I think it's absolutely hilarious. But like, you just destroyed all my friends. Like." You know what I mean? Like, Gavin Newsom has been in my house. Kamala Harris has been in my house. Like, everybody in Hollywood, I know all these people. These are my friends. Like, I love you, but I can't have my name in the beginning of this, and then you just destroy everybody I know. And when he said that, I was like, all right, we're doing something right.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're hitting something, and this is the real thing I want people to take away from Andrew. You pioneered the independent comedy space, more than many other people who are out there, and now it has culminated in this Netflix deal. We've talked about this in the past, but you did it by being politically incorrect, not going down the road that everybody else did, and frankly, have not been 10x more successful than many of the people who did. Just talk a little bit about that, man, because you deserve a victory lap here.
Thank you, man. Basically what happened was I wasn't really enjoying the comedy that I was seeing on like the traditional networks. And I started thinking like, all right, in order for me to get in front of people, right, at the end of the day, I'm validated by the people. I don't really care about like no network or whatever is going to validate me. But if the people really care about what I'm doing and they appreciate what I'm doing, then that's enough validation for me. And basically I just wasn't able to get on. I think it was maybe the style of comedy I was doing or the time for comedy, and I had to either change my comedy to get on, or I had to find a different way to get my comedy to the people. And I just started like putting clips out on Instagram, on YouTube, and it's a long story that I've done on a bunch of podcasts. So I'll spare you the time, but that what I'm most proud of, to be honest with you, is like through that we kind of like transformed the industry in terms of how people put out their content, but also we created enough equity with the people where when we did do a deal with, the biggest paid streaming platform, we were able to do the exact show that we wanted to do.
Right.
And to me, that's what I'm most proud of, because the whole journey was about doing the comedy that I believe in, the comedy that I care about. And we built up enough equity in that space. Like there's only a few people that can, that can have no notes from the network. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and like,
right.
and that's really cool. Them and I got to support them, because in the same way that I supported the exec that let Ricky Gervais have that wild monologue at the Golden Globes, like I got to support Netflix letting creators create, man. Because if you don't give them their flowers when they do it, then the next guy who maybe isn't as well known as me or doesn't have as big a following as me won't be able to create the content he wants to create. So hopefully there's this like trickle down effect, and everybody gets, everybody gets to continue doing the comedy I think that we all love.
Yeah, I hope so too. Andrew, just tell everybody, obviously it's going to be Schulz Saves America. That's going to be on Netflix, where they can find all your stuff. I think you're about to become one of the most famous people in America.
Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, as long as the people love it, that's all I care about. You can find it on Netflix. And I think you're going to really, if you feel a little bit disenfranchised, in terms of like, where maybe politics have gone on the extremes on both sides, and like news media, and if you just feel like you're kind of being lied to and there's a lot of people that need to get their ass handed to them, I'm going to do it verbally for sure.
Well, that's what we rely on for you. I think there's a large segment of our audience that wants to see that. Andrew, thank you for joining me, my friend. Really appreciate it.
God bless you, man. Thanks so much.
Thank you. All right, we're going to have more Rising for everybody right after this.